Hello and welcome back. I am so glad you are here tonight. Before we begin, I want you to take a slow, deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Let your body feel heavy and still. Let your shoulders relax. Let your hands rest gently. Tonight, I am going to tell you a story. It is a slow and peaceful story. There is no rush. There is nowhere you need to go. This is a story about a traveler. A traveler is a person who walks from place to place. This traveler has been walking for a long time. He is tired. He is ready to rest. On this quiet evening, he finds something very special. He finds a forest, a peaceful, green, and beautiful forest. In this forest, there is stillness. Stillness means very little noise or movement. Everything is calm. Everything is gentle. As I tell you this story, I want you to close your eyes if you like. Imagine you are there, walking beside the traveler. Imagine the soft ground under your feet. Imagine the cool, fresh air on your face. Let your breathing slow down. Let your thoughts become quiet. This story is just for you. It is your time to rest. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The road that never seemed to end. The traveler's name was Elian. Elian was a man of about 40 years. His hair was dark, with a little gray at the sides. His boots were old and worn. They had walked many miles. Many, many miles. He carried a small bag on his back. Inside the bag was a blanket, a little bread, a small water flask, and a book of maps. A map is a drawing that shows roads and rivers and mountains. Elian loved his maps. He used them every day. For many weeks, Elian had been walking from town to town. He was not running away from anything. He was not searching for treasure. He was simply a man who loved to walk. He loved to see new places. He loved to meet new people. But tonight, Elian was very tired. The road was long and straight. On both sides of the road, there were wide, flat fields. The fields were brown and dry. There were no trees. There was no shade. Shade is the cool, dark area that a tree or building makes when it blocks the sun. The sun had already gone down. The sky was turning from orange to a deep purple. Soon it would be fully dark. Elian stopped walking. He looked ahead. He looked behind. He looked to the left and to the right. There was no village nearby. There was no inn. An inn is a small place where travelers can sleep and eat. There was no shelter. Shelter is a place that protects you from the wind and the cold. Elian felt a little worried, just a little. I need to find somewhere to rest, he said quietly to himself. He continued walking. His boots made a soft sound on the dry road. Step, step, step. He kept his eyes open, looking for any sign of shelter. Then he saw something in the distance. At the far end of the road, where the road curved slightly to the left, he could see something dark and tall. Dark shapes rising up against the purple sky. Trees. Elian stopped and looked more carefully. Yes, he was sure now. Those were trees, many trees, standing close together, a forest. A small feeling of relief came into his chest. Relief is the warm feeling you get when something worrying becomes better. He began to walk a little faster. As he walked toward the trees, the air began to change. He could feel it on his skin. The air was cooler now. It was softer. It carried a smell, a clean, green smell. The smell of leaves and earth and grass. Elian breathed in deeply. The smell was wonderful. It was the smell of a living place, a breathing place. He reached the edge of the forest. The edge is the border, the place where the open road ended and the trees began. He stood there for a moment. He looked into the forest. The trees were tall. Their branches spread wide above his head, like open hands welcoming him. The light was dim inside the forest. Dim means not very bright, but it was not frightening. It felt gentle. It felt safe. Elian stepped off the road and walked between the first trees. Immediately, everything became quieter. The wind that had been blowing across the flat fields suddenly became still. The sounds of the open road faded away. Instead, there was a new kind of sound, a soft sound, the sound of leaves moving gently in a light breeze. Elian stopped walking. He listened. The leaves whispered above him, very soft, very slow. He closed his eyes and just listened. He stood still for a long moment. He let the sound of the forest fill his ears. He let the cool air fill his lungs. Lungs are the part of your body that you breathe with. Then slowly, a small smile came to his face. "This is a good place," he said softly. He walked a little deeper into the forest, looking for a good place to rest for the night. Chapter 2. Deep inside the green world. The deeper Elian walked into the forest, the more beautiful it became. The trees were very old. Their trunks, the main body of a tree, were wide and thick. Some were so wide that Elian could not put his arms all the way around them. The bark, which is the rough outer skin of a tree, was a dark reddish-brown color. It was cracked and textured, like the face of a wise old person. The ground was covered in soft moss. Moss is a small, flat, green plant that grows on the ground and on rocks. It grows in places that are cool and a little bit damp. Damp means a little bit wet. When Elian stepped on the moss, it made almost no sound. It was like walking on a soft, green carpet. Here and there, small mushrooms grew near the roots of the trees. Roots are the part of a tree that grow underground. They hold the tree steady. The mushrooms were pale and delicate. Delicate means very fine and gentle. Some were white. Some were the color of cream. They looked like tiny, peaceful little houses. Elian walked slowly. He was no longer in a hurry. He had found the forest. He was safe. He looked up at the sky through the branches of the trees. The sky was now a deep, deep blue, almost black, and the first stars were beginning to appear. Stars appear slowly at night. First one, then two, then, gradually, more and more, like tiny lights being switched on one by one across a very large ceiling. Elian loved stars. He had spent many nights sleeping under the open sky. He knew the names of many stars and many groups of stars. Groups of stars have a special name. They are called constellations. But tonight, he did not try to name them. Tonight, he simply watched them appear, one by one, through the gaps in the leaves above him. As he walked, he began to hear a new sound, a soft sound, a moving sound. Water. He could hear the sound of water, not far away. A small stream, perhaps. A stream is a small, moving body of water, smaller than a river, but always moving, always flowing. Elian followed the sound. He walked carefully between the trees, through patches of moonlight and shadow. Moonlight is the soft, silver light that the moon gives off at night. Where the branches above were thin, the moonlight came through and touched the ground in beautiful silver pools. Pool of light, like quiet, glowing circles on the dark ground. He followed the sound of the water for a few minutes. Then he stepped around a large oak tree and found it. A stream. It was a small stream, narrow enough to step across if you wanted to. The water ran over smooth, round stones. The stones were pale gray and cream and soft brown. The water moved around them and over them, making a constant, gentle sound. Constant means always there, never stopping. The sound of the stream was constant. It never stopped. It was always there. Elian stood beside the stream and listened. The sound was so peaceful, so regular, so gentle. It was like a quiet song that the forest was singing to itself. He knelt down beside the stream. Knelt means he went down on his knees. He dipped his hand into the water. It was cold and clear. He could see the bottom of the stream perfectly. Every stone was visible, every grain of sand between the stones. He cupped his hands and scooped up some water. He drank it slowly. It was the freshest, coldest, cleanest water he had tasted in many days. The cold water moved through him and made him feel awake and alive. He sat back on his heels for a moment, just looking at the stream. The water moved and sparkled in the moonlight. Each small wave caught a little bit of light and reflected it, like tiny diamonds dancing on the surface. Perfect, Elian whispered. Just that one word, perfect. He found a flat area of ground near the stream. It was covered in soft moss and dry leaves. It was sheltered by two large trees on either side. He took the blanket from his bag and spread it on the ground. He took out the small piece of bread he had left and ate it slowly, listening to the stream. He was exactly where he needed to be. Vocabulary Corner. Words from chapters 1 and 2. Let us gently review some of the words we have learned. Take your time with each one. Traveler, a person who walks or travels from place to place. Shelter, a place that protects you from wind, rain, or cold. Shade, a cool, dark area made by a tree or building, blocking the sun. Relief, the warm, comfortable feeling when something worrying becomes better. Edge the border or boundary between two different areas. Dim, not very bright, a little dark, but not completely dark. Moss, a soft, flat green plant that grows on the ground or rocks in cool, damp places. Stream, a small body of water that is always moving and flowing. Constant, always there, never stopping. Moonlight, the soft, silver light that comes from the moon at night. You are doing wonderfully. Let us continue our story. Chapter 3. The Night Comes Alive. Elian lay down on his blanket. He put his bag under his head as a pillow. A pillow is something soft that you rest your head on when you sleep. The bag was not as soft as a real pillow, but it was enough. It was familiar. Familiar means something you know well and feel comfortable with. He looked up through the branches of the trees at the sky above. The sky was now fully dark. The stars were everywhere. Hundreds of them. Thousands. The kind of sky you can only see when you are far from the lights of towns and cities. A sky so full of stars that it almost looked bright. Elian watched the stars. He breathed slowly, in and out. The sound of the stream beside him was constant and gentle. It never changed. It never stopped. Just that soft, moving sound of water over stones. As he lay there, the forest began to reveal its nighttime sounds. Reveal means to show or share something that was hidden before. First, there were the leaves. The leaves above him moved in a very light breeze. Just a little movement. Just enough to make a very gentle, soft sound. Like someone breathing slowly and peacefully. Then he heard an owl. An owl is a bird that is awake at night. It has large, round eyes and very soft feathers. The owl made its sound, a deep, round, hollow sound, like a question being asked by the forest itself. Elian smiled when he heard the owl. Then came the crickets. Crickets are small insects. Insects are small animals with 6 legs. Crickets make a sound by rubbing their legs together. The sound is a high, regular, repeating sound, like a very small, very patient musician playing the same note over and over and over. Cricket, cricket, cricket. It was a steady rhythm. Rhythm means a regular, repeating pattern of sounds. The crickets gave the forest a rhythm, a slow, steady rhythm, like a heartbeat, like a lullaby. A lullaby is a gentle song that helps you fall asleep. Then, somewhere in the distance, Elian heard another sound, a very soft sound. He was not even sure at first if he was hearing it or imagining it. It was a frog. A frog is a small animal that lives near water. Frogs make a deep, round sound, a slow sound. The frog called once, then again, then was quiet for a moment, then called again. The frog, the crickets, the owl, the stream, the leaves. All of these sounds together. They made a kind of music, not the music that humans make with instruments. Something older than that, something more natural. The music of a living forest at night. Elian listened to this music. He felt his body sink a little deeper into the ground. He felt his muscles, the parts of your body that help you move, begin to soften and relax. When you relax, you stop holding tension. Tension is tightness in your body. When tension leaves the body, you feel lighter, softer, more at peace. He felt his arms relax. He felt his legs relax. He felt his jaw, the lower part of your face, relax. He had not realized until this moment how tightly he had been holding everything, how tense he had been from so many days of walking, so many days of looking for shelter, so many days of being on the move. But now everything was still. He was here, in this forest, under these stars, beside this stream, surrounded by the quiet, living sounds of the night. He had everything he needed. Elian closed his eyes. He breathed in the cool, green smell of the forest. He breathed out slowly, letting all of the tiredness of the day go with his breath. Above him, the stars moved very slowly across the sky, so slowly that you could not see them moving if you watched. But they moved. Everything moves. Even stillness, in its own way, is moving. The stream kept flowing. The crickets kept singing. The owl called once more, far in the distance, and then was quiet. Elian rested. Chapter 4. The Dream Within the Forest. Somewhere between being awake and being asleep, Elian began to dream. Not a strong dream, not a busy dream, just a soft, gentle drift into a quiet world inside his mind. In the dream, he was still in the forest, but the forest in his dream was even more beautiful than the real forest. The trees were taller and wider. The moss was a deeper, richer green. The stream was a little wider, moving a little more slowly. The moonlight in the dream was brighter. It came through the trees in long, soft columns. A column is a tall, narrow shape, like a pillar of light. The columns of moonlight moved very slowly, like breathing. In the dream, Elian was not tired. He was not carrying his bag. He was not wearing his old, worn boots. He was simply there, simply present. Present means being fully in the moment, not thinking about the past or the future. He walked through the dream forest slowly. His feet made no sound. The ground felt soft and warm beneath him, like the kindest earth in the world. As he walked, he noticed small flowers growing near the base of the trees. They were tiny flowers, delicate and white. They had a gentle glow, like they held a little piece of starlight inside them. Elian knelt down to look at one of the flowers. He looked at it for a long time. He was not in a hurry. There was nowhere to go. The flower was perfect. Just the right size, just the right color. It was as if the forest had made it especially for this moment, for this dreamer, for this one quiet night. Then a butterfly appeared. A butterfly is a beautiful insect with wide, flat wings. In the dream, this butterfly had wings the color of the night sky, deep blue, with tiny silver dots like stars. The butterfly flew very slowly, moving from flower to flower without any urgency. Urgency means a need to hurry. The butterfly had no urgency. It simply moved gently, peacefully, from one place to the next. Elian watched the butterfly. He felt a great sense of peace. Peace is the feeling of being completely calm and comfortable, not wanting anything to be different, just accepting what is. He sat down in the dream forest, in a patch of moonlight, with the flowers around him and the butterfly nearby. He looked up at the dream sky. The stars were even clearer here. Each one was sharp and bright. He could see colors in them. Some stars were soft white, some were a faint blue, some were a warm golden color. And as he sat there, looking at the stars, he felt something that he had not felt in a very long time. He felt that everything was exactly right. Not perfect in the way that means nothing is wrong, but right in a deeper way. Right in the way that means I am here. This is my life, and it is enough, more than enough. It is beautiful. The dream stayed gentle. The forest stayed calm. The butterfly kept flying. The stars kept shining. And somewhere, just at the edge of the dream, where the dream world met the real world, Elian could still hear the sound of the stream. The constant, gentle sound of water over smooth stones. That sound was his anchor. Anchor means something that keeps you steady and grounded. The sound of the stream was his anchor between dreaming and waking, between the world of sleep and the world of stars and moss and cool forest air. He smiled in his sleep. His breathing was deep and slow. His body was completely still. He was dreaming, and he was resting, and he was exactly where he needed to be. Vocabulary Corner. Words from chapters 3 and 4. Here are more gentle words from tonight's story. Let them settle into your memory slowly. Reveal to show or share something that was hidden. Cricket, a small insect that makes a high, repeating sound, especially at night. Rhythm, a regular, repeating pattern of sounds, like music or a heartbeat. Lullaby, a soft, gentle song that helps someone fall asleep. Tension, tightness in the body, especially from stress or worry. Relax, to let go of tension, to become calm and still. Present, fully in the moment, not thinking about the past or the future. Urgency, a strong feeling that you need to hurry or act immediately. Peace, a feeling of complete calm, not wanting anything to be different. Anchor, something that keeps you steady, safe, and grounded. Rest well. We are almost at the end of our story now. Chapter 5. The World Before the Dawn. Several hours passed. The night moved on, as nights always do. The stars that had been high in the sky slowly shifted. They moved toward the west, following a path that stars have followed for millions and millions of years. The owl returned. It sat somewhere not far from Elian and called softly. Once, twice. Then it flew away again on silent wings. Owls fly in silence. Their feathers are specially made for quiet flight. They moved through the night like shadows. The crickets sang all through the night. Their sound was constant and faithful. Faithful means always there, always doing what they do. The crickets were faithful singers. The stream kept moving. Water never stops. Even in the deepest part of the night, even when everything else is still, water moves. It finds its way around every stone, over every small cliff, through every turn. Water is patient. Water is persistent. Persistent means it keeps going, no matter what. And through all of this, Elian slept. He slept deeply and peacefully. His chest rose and fell with each slow breath. His hands were open and relaxed at his sides. The blanket was warm around him. Around the middle of the night, a fox passed nearby. A fox is a small wild animal with reddish-brown fur. It walked quietly through the forest, nose close to the ground, following a scent. Scent means a smell. The fox followed a scent trail, a path made of smells, through the trees. The fox came close enough to see Elian sleeping. It stopped. It looked at him with its bright, curious eyes. It stayed still for a moment. Then, seeing that this sleeping traveler was no danger to it, the fox simply turned and walked away into the darkness. Quiet as breath. The night continued. Then, very slowly, something began to change. At the far eastern edge of the sky, the direction that the sun rises from, the absolute black of the night began to soften. Just a little. Just the faintest hint of a lighter color. A dark blue-gray, like the color of the inside of a shell. The birds felt it before they could see it. Birds always know when the dawn is coming. Dawn is the time just before sunrise, when the sky begins to grow light. And so, somewhere in the forest, a single bird began to sing. Just one bird at first. A small bird, somewhere high in the branches. Its song was simple and clear. Just a few notes repeated, like it was testing the morning, like it was asking, is it time? Is it safe? Is the day coming? Then another bird answered, from a different tree, from a different direction, and then another, and another. Slowly, gently, the forest filled with birdsong. Each bird added its own voice to the chorus. Chorus means a group of voices singing together. The forest chorus grew and grew, softly at first, then with more confidence. The sky in the east continued to change. The dark blue became lighter blue, then a soft gray. Then, along the very horizon, the line where the sky meets the earth, a thin line of pale orange began to appear. The light was coming. Slowly, gently, the way all good things come. Not rushing, just arriving. Elian stirred in his sleep. Stirred means he moved just a little, without fully waking. He turned slightly on his blanket. He made a small sound, like a quiet sigh. A sigh is a long, slow breath that comes out of you when you are very comfortable or very tired. He was beginning to wake up, but not yet, not quite yet. He was in that beautiful place between sleeping and waking. that soft, warm, half-lit world where the dream has not quite ended, but the real world is beginning to come back. He could hear the birds. Even in his half-sleep, he could hear them. Their song became part of his waking. He could feel the coolness of the early morning air on his face. He could smell the forest, that clean, green, earthy smell that he had noticed the night before. And he could hear the stream, still there, still flowing, still singing its quiet, constant song. Chapter 6. A morning like no other. Elian opened his eyes. Above him, the sky was a soft, pale blue, the very first blue of morning. The stars had gone. Or rather, they had not gone, they were still there, above the blue sky, as they always are. But the growing light of day had made them invisible. The trees around him were still and tall. Their leaves caught the morning light and turned it into something warm and green. Green light filtered through leaves. There is nothing quite like that color. It is one of the gentlest colors in the world. Elian lay still for a moment. He did not move. He simply lay there and looked up at the light through the leaves. He breathed slowly. He thought about where he was. He thought about last night, the long road, the search for shelter, the moment he found the edge of the forest. He thought about the stream and the stars and the sound of the crickets. He thought about his dream, the flowers, the butterfly, the columns of moonlight. He felt something in his chest, something quiet and warm. Gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being thankful, not for anything specific, just thankful, thankful to be alive, thankful for this forest, thankful for this morning, thankful for the stream that had kept him company all night. He sat up slowly. He stretched his arms above his head and let out a long, slow breath. His body felt rested, truly rested. Not just the physical tiredness that had gone, he felt rested in a deeper way. His mind felt quiet. His heart felt light. He looked at the stream. In the morning light, it looked different from the night before. The moonlight had made it silver. The morning light made it golden. The water moved over the pale stones and caught the sunlight that was now beginning to filter through the trees. Filter means to come through slowly, in small pieces. The morning sun filtered through the trees, making patches of warm light on the ground, on the moss, on the water. Elian stood up. He folded his blanket carefully and put it back in his bag. He washed his face in the cold stream water. The cold water woke him up fully and completely. He felt the cool water on his skin, on his forehead, on his cheeks. He looked around him. The forest was alive with morning, alive with birdsong and light and movement. A squirrel ran along the branch of a tree above him. A squirrel is a small animal with a bushy tail that lives in trees. It stopped and looked at Elian with its small, bright eyes, then ran on. A single butterfly, not the night butterfly from his dream, but a real butterfly, yellow and white, floated past him on the morning air. It moved so lightly, as if the air itself was carrying it. Elian put his bag on his back and stood beside the stream. He was ready to walk again. He would follow the stream for a while, because streams always lead somewhere. They lead toward rivers. Rivers lead toward towns. And in towns, there is warmth and food and company. But before he began to walk, he stopped. He stood still. He looked at the forest around him. He looked at the tall trees, with their roots deep in the earth and their branches high in the sky. He looked at the soft, green moss. He looked at the pale mushrooms near the roots. He looked at the stream, flowing always, flowing with patience and peace. He looked at all of this, and he felt something he would carry with him for a very long time. Long after this forest was behind him, long after he had found his next town, his next meal, his next adventure, he felt that some places and some moments are gifts. A gift is something given freely, with love, without expecting anything in return. This forest had been a gift. This night had been a gift. This morning was a gift. "Thank you," Elian said softly. He did not know exactly who he was speaking to. Perhaps to the forest, perhaps to the trees, perhaps to whatever quiet force it is that puts the right traveler in the right place at exactly the right moment. Then he turned and began to walk. His footsteps were quiet on the mossy ground. The stream walked beside him, just a few steps to his right, murmuring gently as it always did. Murmuring means making a soft, low, gentle sound. The birds sang above him. The light came through the trees, and Elian walked into his next day, rested, peaceful, grateful, and entirely at home in the world. Conclusion, a gentle ending. And so, our story comes gently to a close. Elian, the traveler, found exactly what he needed. Not a grand palace, not a hot meal, not a famous city. He found something simpler and perhaps more valuable. He found a peaceful forest, a quiet stream, a night full of stars and crickets and the sound of water. He found rest, true rest, the kind of rest that fills you all the way up, the kind that leaves you feeling not just physically better, but lighter, calmer, and more connected to the world around you. We all need that kind of rest sometimes. We all need to find our forest, our quiet place, our stream, and perhaps tonight, this story has been a little bit of that for you. Perhaps as you listened, your body became a little heavier, a little more still. Perhaps your breathing became a little slower, a little deeper. Perhaps you could imagine the forest, the tall, old trees with their wide trunks and spreading branches, the soft moss beneath your feet, the sound of the stream, constant and gentle, moving over smooth stones, the stars above, watching quietly, perhaps the sound of the crickets and the owl, and the early morning birds found their way into your mind and became part of your own quiet night. If so, then this story has done what it was meant to do. It was meant to carry you somewhere peaceful, somewhere away from the noise and the busyness of the day, somewhere you could simply be Simply rest. Simply breathe. Now let your body become still. Let your breathing slow down even more. Let go of any thoughts that are still moving through your mind. You do not need them right now. They will be there when you wake up. Right now, there is only this moment, only the stillness, only the quiet. You are safe, you are warm, you are comfortable. Just like Elian, lying beside his stream, under his stars, in his peaceful forest. You are exactly where you need to be. Rest now, sleep now. The world will wait for you. And when you wake up, it will be a new day, fresh and bright and full of possibility. But that is for later. Right now, there is only the quiet. Good night, sleep well, and thank you so much for spending this evening with me.